Welcome back, miners, to another episode of the Journeyman's Journey. I am the old prospector, and I promised you last time that I would do better at recording all of my stuff. Well, I did that, but between work and some vacation and putting off editing an episode together, I now have like 9 hours of footage. 9 hours of raw footage to put together. So that's too much. And so I'm pretty much ditching a lot of that. And this episode is going to be mostly live. I'm going to show you the stuff that I have done since the last time. It's a lot. It's a lot of work, a lot of time, but it's probably only going to take about 5 minutes. And then we'll see what happens from there. So here we go. Like the first thing I did, really big, but turned out not the way I kind of hoped it would, is I converted this elevator to an up and down kind of thing where the magma will suck you down and the soul sand will push you up. And this goes the whole way down to the bottom of the big hole. And there are stops, different places. And yeah, it's convenient. It does not work quite the way I had hoped it would, but it's a quick, fast, easy, and safe way to get from up top down below, and you don't have to worry about running out of air while you're in the water, because both the soul sand and the magma provide air for you. Made some serious improvements to this transition here, and that's just something we do while we're playing. We improve the foxhole, as we used to say in the army. Now, this zombie spawner I showed you last time, I've made some big improvements to this. Excuse me. I added another enchanting room down here because this is where we're getting all the experience points, so this should be where we do the enchanting, right? I've been ditching all of my zombie flesh into that hopper, which has a little redstone ticker that I got from Adults Only Minecraft, and that drops extra stuff into lava. It's like an automated disposal system. I was getting rid of all my zombie flesh, and then to turn around and find out that you can trade zombie flesh with villagers. I think it's the cleric you can trade zombie flesh to. So I've actually started collecting that here. Another improvement I've made to the outside of this room to make it safer is this trapdoor system outside here, because what was happening, I was spending a lot of time AFK gathering experience points, and I would open the door and there'd be like 10 zombies and they would rush in and kill me. And you know, at one point I had dropped a whole bunch of really good armor and a couple of enchanted swords and whatnot, and when I came back down, the room was full of heavily armed and armored zombies, and that was no fun. So I eventually had to block this door and flood the room with a bucket of water in order to get to them and kill them. It was not pretty. I think I died 7 or 8 times just trying to recover my stuff. So this trapdoor system here, because the zombies see the trapdoor as a solid block, they'll try to walk across it, they fall down, and eventually they get guided into the same water elevator as the zombies from the spawner, and they die, hopefully. There's also a safety system there in case I fall down. I can jump up the ladder and come back out. So that's that. Over here, that was disturbing. Over here, I had a cave spider spawner that I think I pointed out, and So I built a system, and this I will have to put the link in the description. I'll have to look up who did this one. I can't remember who did this one. But this is a cave spider spawner back there, a room or so away. And this does not damage. It does not. Okay. Try this again. So here there's a cave spider spawner. I do not have the outside zombie proofed, mostly because I don't use this nearly as much as the other one. It's cave spiders. They have a lot more health. They're a lot harder to kill. This spawner does not pre-damage the mobs like the other ones do. So while it provides a nice bit of experience points, it also it's a lot harder on weapons because, like I said, it doesn't pre-damage the mobs. So I get a lot of string, I get a lot of spider's eyes, but as far as experience points goes, I was spending more experience points reviving my weapons and spending more time going back and forth to get more weapons built than what it seemed like it was worth. So I got pretty much a lifetime supply of string out of this, and then I pretty much just stopped using it. So coming out of there, coming back up here, I'm still dealing over here quite a bit with an aftermath of accidentally dropping water and lava at the same time. And that whole... Excuse me for a second. Okay, got rid of the zombies. So over here, I've been spending a lot of my time over in that section of the big hole. The top of the big hole is over there. So there's a whole nother section of this big hole over here that I've been largely ignoring because there was so much to do over here. There's even a geode over there, and one of the things I want to do is harvest amethyst out of that geode to decorate my portal room. I'll get to that soon. But over here in this large branch of the big hole, I have built a larger zombie spawner based on a design by Shulkercraft, and Waddles used a design very much like this. But what this does is inside we have 5 platforms. There's some redstone up top that periodically flushes the layers with water, pushes any zombies out to the outside. They drop into the water. From the water they fall in between some fence gates over some campfires where they get killed. Their drops fall into some hoppers below the campfires and into some chests below the hoppers. And it doesn't work the way it was intended to, probably, most likely, definitely, because it is underground. There's a lot of other mobs that get spawned in these caves, so we don't end up with as many mobs forming in here. But I don't like, I mean, it does get me a lot of good stuff. I mean, I've got pretty much a lifetime supply of arrows. That's pretty much why I built the thing in the first place. The way this should work is it should be built outside, where I can then go either tower up or scaffold up or whatever and AFK from 120 or so blocks up, so that the only place that mobs are spawning is inside that. And that's fine. But Shulkercraft was getting like 3,500 items an hour out of it that way. I don't need 3,500 items an hour. I need a handful of arrows. It was an awful lot of work for a handful of arrows, but it's worth it because now when I need arrows, I just come get arrows. It's also making gunpowder, so when I start making TNT later on, I'll have plenty of gunpowder. Over here around the corner, now I hadn't seen but maybe 3 slimes. Oh, do I have? Did I? Do I? I do! Finally found a slime! I know, Rosie. I know. Okay, miners, I went and did it again. I really thought I had my system down for making sure that I was recording when I wanted to record, but somehow while I was recording a big chunk of this episode, I got mixed up as to whether I was paused and unpaused, and I was pausing when I thought I was unpausing and unpausing when I thought I was pausing, so I recorded a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't mean to record. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to real quickly go through a bunch of stuff that I either built or improved upon in between episodes. So here we go. I have found some dripstone in my explorations down there. It was the tiniest, cutest little dripstone cave you ever saw. It was probably only about 15 or 20 blocks wide. But what we've got here is 4 lava source blocks, or 4 lava sources in this trench. Underneath that, you've got the dripstone. The dripstone carries little drops of lava through and drops them into 4 cauldrons here. And what we can do with the 4 cauldrons is every once in a while on our way by, we pick up the lava out of the cauldrons, and now we have an unlimited lava source. Hooray for us. And miners, that brings us to the last thing that I built here, which is a wool farm. I believe 1UP MC may have been the first one to come up with this concept, but I got my design for this from Waddles. You've got all the sheep, and let me tell you, dropping these sheep into a single block wide hole from upstairs was just a humongous pain in the butt. It took me hours. But anyway, I've got now 1 sheep with every color except brown, because I don't have any brown dye or a brown sheep. And we can take care of that at another time. But what happens here is the sheep will eat the grass. The changing of the grass block will activate the observer, which in turn activates this dispenser, which normally has a shears in it, and the shears will shear the sheep. Then the wool, when this minecart with a hopper comes by, gathers up all the wool, drops it into another hopper there, and drops everything into this barrel. Right now I have more than enough of everything, every color, over here already gathered up, and I've used 1 set of shears in every dispenser. When I need more wool, I'll put shears in the dispensers again, but for right now I'm just letting it ride. Later on in this episode, we're going to take wool from here and use it to lay out our village. Matter of fact, that's going to happen next. This was everything that I forgot to record, so back to the original recording. Okay, miners, I've got my inventory down. I headed back over to the wool farm, gather up some wool, and start laying out our village. Now, while we're doing that, a couple things I wanted to touch base on. Maslow's Hierarchy. I knew you knew I was going to bring it up again, but I think we've pretty much beaten that to death. We've seen enough of it. We know what's going on there. I'm still level 2. I'm firmly entrenched in level 2, and to get to level 3, I need likes and subscribes from you, so you know what to do. Mash that button. Anyway, so moving on from Maslow's, we're going to look at another chart though. I got a brand new chart to look at. This is the comfort zone chart. we have our comfort zone where we feel safe and in control, and that's going back to episode 1. I talked about how my method of playing Minecraft would be to start a new world and grow some farms, gather up some animals for food, and then move on, start over again, maybe build a neat looking house or a barn for my animals or whatever. But I never did a whole lot of exploring, never really spent much time in the Nether, and that's where I am right now, is lacking self-confidence and finding excuses. I'm in that fear zone. I don't want to go to the Nether because I've mentioned this before, it scares the crap out of me. Well, guess what? If I go to the Nether and I die, so what? I die. I might lose some stuff, but I've got the resources to make more stuff. So off we go, into the learning zone. We're going to deal with our challenges and problems, acquire new skills, and extend that comfort zone. That's where we're going to be going in the near future, but right now, we're going to lay out our village first. Okay, so the idea is I'm going to have, I've got a couple of my charts that I had made back in the day I'm going to refer to. So eventually, these farms are going to get moved over there, and there's going to be a lumber mill here, and we're going to keep the arboretum, whatever you want to call it, tree farm over here, and extend that probably all the way back over there eventually. Lots of trees, lots of different kinds of trees. I want to get every different kind of tree there is in the game, and right now I think I need spruce, and that might be it. I don't know, because I've got mangrove, I've got jungle, I've got lots of spruce. No, not spruce. I have oak, I have birch, I have jungle, I have mangrove, and I think I just need spruce. So we'll see about that. I've got just about all the different kinds of flowers here, and the flowers are going to be part of the wool and dye shop. So the sheep corral will be behind the wool and dye shop. Then next to that is going to be over here. We'll be building a water wheel over here. And there's something over there I need to show you guys too. We'll have a water wheel over here, and over here will be a stonemason, a smith, and a concrete mill, which will make use of that water wheel. And then we'll probably have like a crane where we ostensibly would be getting materials like stone and gravel and whatnot out of the big hole. Then over here would be out in front of the main hacienda would be our courtyard, town square kind of area, maybe with a fountain, maybe divert some water from the aqueduct over into the town square. We'll have some decorations over there. And then down here we would have our farms. We would have our cows, pigs, vegetables, chicken, a Fletcher shop next to the chicken farm, butcher shop, produce shop, where we would have in front of our vegetable farms, all this stuff, farms co-located with shops. And then ideally, because the big hole kind of makes a right-hand turn under there and goes over this way, the actual mechanical farms that produce large amounts of stuff like chickens and cows can be placed under there where it's convenient, and then there'd be a storefront up top. That's my grand vision. So also over here a trading hall where we have all the villagers together, with maybe a breeder and a zombie fire underneath. We can get into that later, but there's some interesting designs that have a trading hall that automatically drops a villager into a holding area underneath where they can be attacked by a zombie, made into a zombie, and then cured to get better trades. It's real interesting. And so believe it or not, that's about it. Not as much to it as I kind of thought going into this, but still missing part of the roof there, apparently, from when the roof burned off. Remember, kids, don't play with lava in the house. So for the next few minutes, we're just going to be laying out wool. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to show you the other thing I wanted to show you. I came up out of the hole the other day after doing some work on something or other, and I walked right into a pillager raid, because there's still that pillager outpost right on the other side of that hill there. I don't know if that affects how often they come after me, but what I decided to do is make a trap that I could lead them into when they come. And basically what we end up doing, we come in here, those are trapdoors, with a little bit of redstone. We run back into this corner where we're safe, and it opens up the trapdoors and they run into it. Under the trapdoors is lava. Simple and hopefully effective, but what happened was, while I was building it and hiding from them building it, they all got trapped in the sheep corral here and despawned just as I was finishing up building the trap. So that was that. But I got one more banner out of the deal. So now my banner collection on the back of the hacienda here is once more symmetrical. So let's get started over here. Okay, so while I'm toiling away at this, I've got a couple of things I want to talk about. Looking way back to episode 1, I talked about having kind of a list of things I wanted to learn and accomplish during this series. But even with all the notes I've been making, I've never really managed to get a solid to-do list. But every time I try, I very quickly start feeling like Charlie Day. Not quite that bad, but seriously though, everything you want to do in this game requires something else. And honestly, that's part of the beauty of the game, but it can get frustrating at times as well. At any rate, here's what I've come up with so far. I want to fly. I want to get to the end, find an end ship, and get a set of elytra. And then I want to bring them back here and use a firework to fly. Watching other people's YouTube videos is one of the coolest things I think I get to see just about every time, is when they pick up a firework in their hand and just fly to where they want to go. It's too cool. But the problem is, well, yeah, I've already said the nether scares the crap out of me, but the end absolutely terrifies me. I mean, if Waddles, your boy himself, can take 37 episodes to decide to go after an elytra, well, the old prospector here ain't going to be ready for a while. So other than going to the end for end stuff, I wanted to learn enchanting, which I've done, but I still need to learn some more, and I want to learn to do some potions as well. As part of upgrading my weapons and armor, I'll eventually be mining for ancient debris and making netherite. Now, the rest of it comes down to just building a lot of the really cool farms that are out there and using them to work towards those ultimate goals. And that brings up a perfect day of my Charlie Day syndrome. I want to build a true fishing farm, but the design calls for a skulk sensor. I haven't found any deep dark biomes yet, and I need better weapons and armor for that kind of extended underground exploring. And for that, I need more diamonds. So you can see how having one goal can really pile up the to-do list into a long and convoluted, long convolution. And in case you're wondering, no, I don't have a big old Charlie Day looking yarn diagram on my wall. But I do have this Google Keep note that I started using to keep track of what I want to accomplish in the near future. And I've got, this big stack of notes that I make as I go. That stack of notes and the Google Keep list, as you might guess, grows much faster than I'm able to check items off. So let's just go through this and make sure we have a place for each type of villager. Over here we're going to have our shepherd with a loom for the sheep farm, and that is going to be co-located with the wool factory, of course, already downstairs. We'll have a dye maker in the building over here with samples of all these flowers. And over here, this area is going to have to go back this way a lot farther, but over here we're going to have the mason, the toolsmith, the weaponsmith, and and probably the armor are all in this area here, co-located with the water mill. Then we'll also have the concrete mill in that area also. Blank spot here, there's the crane there, which is going to probably require some digging out of the big hole, which is fine. Blank spot here, not sure what's going to go there. Probably an extension of this area, because there was a whole lot going on in this area here. And over here we got the town square. Like I said, we can bring some water from possibly the bottom of the water wheel over into the town square, have like a well there or something of that sort. Gathering place for all the villagers. I guess using dark green wool to lay out this spot probably was not the best idea, but that's going to be the library, where we can have the librarian and the cleric. We can call that the apothecary probably, and we could probably put the apothecary in its own building next door. Then over here we have the trading hall, where we will have one of everybody for doing our trading, and possibly have the zombie fire and healing downstairs to get us better trades. That's a little bit farther down the road. And then this area here, which can extend back as far that way and as far that way as we need to, is where we're going to have our farms with our butcher, the farmer, the fisherman for a fishmonger storefront, possibly a Fletcher in front of the chicken farm. Then we'll have our leather worker there also, and that's it. That's everybody. We've got the butcher. Oh, we need a cartographer. He'll probably be in the library. And that's it. That's all of them. That's something for everybody. All right. We got a lot accomplished today, laying out the future locations of buildings in the town square for the village. So until next time, campers, don't open a door without looking.